This is Matrix Lord 212, and this is not part 2 yet, but it's connected to the last video. Now that I'm thinking about it, the great intelligence, my theory, Matrix Lord's theory, is that the great intelligence created the silence. Madame Corvarian works for the great intelligence. The headless monks are connected somehow to the monks that the Doctor has encountered in 1207. That monastery, based on them seeing the TARDIS called St. John's ambulance symbol, they named the monastery St. John's, which later on in the future, that monastery is where the gangers were in that episode, and everything is tying together nicely. Clara invents the fish to defeat the silence, and basically Clara is creating servers of herself or spoonheads or something towards the effect, like the Doctor did in Bells of St. John, to basically follow the great intelligence in the Victorian era. Now, when it comes to the Daleks, basically that server got uploaded or connected as a Dalek, and basically it's still an extension of Clara, but it isn't the real Clara. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is the envelope, the letter that Clara's going to have was in the book of 101 Places to See. There was a word written on it called, it was DELSA, which is basically something to do with Alaska and fish. And that is the fish reference of Bells of St. John. Yes, there is a fish reference hidden not in plain sight where you could hardly even find it. Okay, so if you freeze frame it to where there's an envelope, a letter, it says Delsa, which has to do with Alaska and also has to do with some type of fish stuff that I really got to look into. I found it on Google, but I'm doing this video pretty fast. Okay, as we said before, the numbers that were missing in the years was 16 and 23. I had discussed that with Dr. Freedom. He brought that up in his video. The flickering lights did continue because it's connected to the great intelligence. He's probably the one behind the flickering lights. What else did I have that I had to share? Oh yes, there is bird tweets all over the place in Bells of St. John's, everywhere. Nina is mentioned in Bells of St. John, and if you remember, that is brought up in Asylum of the Daleks. And remember she was taking care of Angie. So what else do we have? Remember, the girl in the shop is going to be brought up again because she's the one that that brings Clara to the Doctor. So it could be River Song, could be Rose, could be Sally Sparrow, could be a companion of the Doctors in the past. Susan Foreman, someone is connected to the Doctor that gives. Could be Donna Noble that she doesn't even realize, but she has the number and she doesn't know why she has the number. Somebody brought that up. And so also don't forget that Clara is living in Chiswick, where Donna Noble is. What else? Leaf. Oh, there was a scarf too, if you didn't see. In the Maitland house, there was a scarf, and I'm trying to find out if I can find. Oh, they also said something like flies to a web. That was mentioned, flies to a web. It could mean a connection to, besides just being for the episode, the universal web. Okay, and like I said, I honestly think that because Clara is such a computer genius now, because she has taken that out of the Wi-Fi, that she will use that in the future to be so like the ultimate genius to connect into the Daleks to erase the memory. I mean, it's all connected. To me now, there is no mystery with Clara because I feel like it's already solved. There may be some added elements like River Song, a Vortex Manipulator. Maybe they'll throw in a companion, link it to the 50th anniversary. But to me, basically, it's already explained who Clara is. I mean, she's using the Wi-Fi in the universe to make servers, or I don't like to use the word spoonheads because it was a joke. That's not their real name. They're servers, they're base stations, whatever they're called. She's creating copies of herself. And you know what? It could be connected too with the gangers, because she could have invented the gangers and then downloaded copies of herself. Because just think about it for 1 minute, okay? If you could download, Clara into a spoonhead, into that cloud, right? It's like a computer, so it's like copy and paste. So why couldn't Clara copy and paste herself into other servers like the Doctor did in Bells of St. John? And they were fooled because they all thought it was the Doctor, but it wasn't. It was a server. It was a base station. It was, and like I said, I don't like the word spoonheads, but it was a spoonhead. Okay. What if Clara copy and pastes herself and makes copies everywhere, so that way somehow she could find a way to meet up with the Doctor? Maybe she gets lost with the Doctor. And I'm talking about the first Clara, the Clara that met up with the Doctor in Bells of St. John, the Clara that's going to be in Series 7. Something could happen. She could get lost, and she creates copies of herself. Now, she said she was born in the Big Ben. That was the Victorian Clara. Maybe that was